Hello everyone, Twisted Animatronic here. Now in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, love it or hate it, it was one of my favourites in the franchise. The aesthetic, the neon lights, Glamrock Freddy, but the lore, was a mess. So many mysteries and unanswered questions, such as how does Gregory wake up inside Freddy's stomach hatch with no memory of this? How does Roxy all of a sudden come back from the dead? And the big burning one for me is why does Gregory black out when he comes into contact with Vanessa in the loading dock / fire escape? He then wakes up in Lost and Found, which is miles away from where Vanessa finds him. You telling me she carries this boy to Lost and Found to then appear as Vanny just to try and kill him? Why didn't she kill him when he was knocked out? How did he even get knocked out? I mean, he literally just faints, it goes to a black screen. Why? Well, we're going to be unraveling our mystery today, my friends, so get ready. And if you love Glamrock Freddy like me and want to be a superstar, hit subscribe right now, because very recently a preview for the new book, Escape from the Pizzaplex, has come out. It's only a few pages, but it gives us so much lore and basically answers some of these questions we have. For example, how did Gregory end up in Freddy's stomach hatch? Well, this interactive book / novel can give us some of them answers, but it does give us more questions. You see, the very first page tells us that we're playing as Cassie, and Freddy and Gregory are also there, and it says we're Gregory's best human friend. Now, there is absolutely no need to put that human remark in there. Why? Do we say, oh, we're eating human food? No, that's because Gregory has another best friend, a non-human, a robot friend, and that is Freddy. Now immediately there's a massive problem here, because in Security Breach, if you remember, the first thing we do is introduce ourselves to Freddy, and they have no memory of each other. It's the first time we meet, right? But in this book, which is a prelude to these events, they've been best friends for a long time, and actually implies they have a long history together at the Pizzaplex. So already something is going to happen here, which I'll get onto later. You see, it's established that Freddy actually knows Gregory from a long-standing point, to the fact that Gregory actually goes inside his stomach hatch and kind of controls him like he does in the game, like a mech suit or something, which again sets up how he's able to do so in Security Breach. There are several pieces of information we're clearly missing here. Isn't that right, Freddy? And that's just with the Freddy connection alone. We haven't got onto Vanessa or the Black Out situation yet. But don't worry, I think I've got an answer for all of that. But first, I'd like to continue with the Gregory and Freddy situation, because it's quite confusing in itself how at the beginning of Security Breach, they know nothing of each other, but in this book, they've been best friends for a long period of time. Now, immediately your thoughts will go to, have their memories been wiped / erased? In the book GGY, Gregory and Vanessa have been kind of brainwashed and is working for Glitch Trap / the Mimic. Now, at no point there does it say that their memories get erased, nothing to even indicate it, but this new novel, Escape from the Pizzaplex, could give us that information, because it's set up why Gregory and Freddy don't know each other in the game, but in the novel, they're seemingly best friends. Even in GGY, Freddy basically works for Gregory. This book is heavily implying it's the direct prequel to Security Breach, meaning this comes after GGY, comes after VIP. It's literally going to lead up to the events, so we can kind of guess what's going on here. And as we know at the very start, the initial cutscene, Freddy trips out, doesn't he? He has that obvious safe mode reset. And I've done an entire video breaking down this reset frame by frame, because there's some interesting information displayed on Freddy's internal visor. And basically, I'll cut to the chase, it tells us that there's a conflict, and because of this, Freddy uses too much memory and times out. This code is literally displayed on his visor, but this could mean something huge for us here. You see, why would Freddy be using too much memory? We know he spots someone in the crowd, and this is what I think happens. Freddy's mind has clearly been wiped. That's obvious because he doesn't know who Gregory is at the start of Security Breach. So it's a fresh installer, so to speak, but when he sees Gregory in the crowd, maybe his memories start coming back, or it conflicts with the old programming, meaning he's using too much memory here because the new program is now conflicting with an old program. Memory overload, he reboots into safe mode. When he wakes back up, obviously he doesn't know who Gregory is because his mind has been wiped, and that's why Gregory hesitates when he says his name. He goes, I'm Gregory. And this is because Gregory would have known that Freddy's mind has been wiped, and he's testing to see if he still remembers him as his best friend. And the fact is here, Freddy doesn't remember him. Gregory has lost his robot best friend. I mean, Freddy was freed from the glitch trap virus. You know, the memories associated with Glitchtrap has completely vanished, but also the memories of GGY vanished, which is obviously Gregory, right, from the book. So the memories of Gregory and Glitchtrap are completely gone. But then that asks the question, how has Gregory been freed from this mind control as well? And how is some of his memories potentially intact? Well, again, looking at this preview from the new book, we're playing as Cassie, and we're playing hide and seek throughout the Pizzaplex with Gregory and Freddy. This also shows us that all the little hubby holes and hidey holes we find in Security Breach, the game, you know, where we find like, as if someone has been living there, there's like 3 or 4 locations we find, where like wrappers, food, bed rolls. That's because in this new interactive novel, it tells us that Gregory and Cassie hide out in the Pizzaplex, in these little hubby holes. It's told throughout this preview that they use these hubby holes to hide and stay in the Pizzaplex after hours, hence why they look lived in. You can see already that this prelude box is building into Security Breach's lore, fixing it if you will. You see, it's quite obvious what's going to happen here. Cassie, being the protagonist of Ruin, also the protagonist of this book, saves or tries to save Gregory in Ruin, just like she saved Gregory before. You see, she's going to find out that Gregory isn't himself, he's obviously this GGY, as we continue to play through the book. She'll notice that Gregory's behaviour is more erratic, more suspicious, and how it ties into her potentially playing hide and seek throughout the Pizzaplex. She's the one who's going to free Gregory from Glitchtrap's control, either by an arcade machine, which is likely the Balloon Boy arcade machine, because that's where things seep out from, the initial Glitchtrap, and when she does manage to set Gregory free, it's highly likely that he was inside Freddy's stomach hatch, because we know he spent a lot of time in there piloting Freddy around, again exactly like Security Breach, although in Security Breach, Freddy makes a point of saying he's not allowed in there. It goes against his programming. It further reinforces and shows us the level of trust Freddy had with Gregory before his mind wipe or his reset. But there's something wrong with this entire theory. You see, for Gregory to be inside Freddy's stomach hatch, and then they both get reset, that wouldn't mean that Freddy would have seen Gregory out in the crowd, you know, to kind of send him haywire against 2 conflicting programs. If that was the case, it would mean Gregory wasn't inside Freddy when he resets, because he literally sees him outside. What would have to happen is Cassie resets Freddy first before she frees Gregory. That would make sense. She resets Freddy to his default programming, but he still has memories of GGY/Gregory. Gregory's still evil at this stage as GGY. Freddy's reset, goes to do his normal program on stage, sees Gregory, trips him out. Gregory then goes to find Freddy to kind of hack him and bring him back to GGY's side, to the evil side. While he's doing that though, he's inside Freddy's stomach hatch. Cassie then beats the Glitchtrap/Mimic inside of one of these arcade games, and in doing so, mind wipes Gregory whilst he's inside of Freddy, in his green room. You see, Gregory, or GGY, evil Gregory we'll call him, once Freddy trips out on stage, they take him back to his green room. Evil Gregory sees this as an opportunity to go there, hack Freddy once more, and bring him back to the evil side. So he climbs inside his stomach hatch, does all his hacking, but what he didn't count on was Cassie, who was still in the Pizzaplex as well, freeing Gregory from Glitchtrap's control, hence wiping some of his memories as well. So when Gregory comes around, he's inside of Freddy. A few moments later, Freddy comes back online and has no memory at all of any of this, and that's the start of Security Breach. And then this leads us into the Vanessa/Blackout scenarios. You see, up until this point, I haven't discussed Vanessa or Vanny at all, and how they play a part in this book and how they play a part in Security Breach. You see, there's a perfectly good reason why I haven't talked about Vanny/Vanessa before Security Breach in any other books. That's because she's not really mentioned at all, not once. Now, I'm not saying she might not make an appearance in this new book, because I've only played the preview, but in the others, she's not mentioned at all. I mean, it suggests in some of the books, such as TigerRock and the Monty Within, how Glitchtrap's brainwashing works, and explains a little bit how Vanny works. You know, it kind of tells us that she reactivates the Mimic, but as for what she actually was doing in the Pizzaplex, etc., there's nothing at all on her. And believe it or not, there could be a valid explanation for this in some of the notes and logs we find in the duffel bags throughout the Security Breach during Security Breach's playthrough. It's hinted at that Vanessa was a new addition to the team. She's the only human guard in the entirety of the Pizzaplex. We know from a note found in a duffel bag that Fazbear Entertainment fired all their human night guard staff. They were literally replaced by the staff bots. But Vanessa/Vanny was never fired because she was added so late into the cycle. This This could then explain her absence throughout some of the books, VIP, but hopefully we'll see more of her in the actual full release of Escape the Pizzaplex on April the 1st. And this is how I believe it builds into Gregory and why Gregory blacks out when he sees Vanessa. You see, it's highly likely that Gregory still has fragmented memories or pieces of memory, very much like Freddy, which I'll get onto later. This explains how he kinda remembers who Vanessa is, knows she's evil, but can't explain why. That's because he knows, in his memory, the fragmented memory, she was working for Glitchtrap just like he was. He can't fully understand it, but the memory is still in there. This overloads his brain, exactly like it scrambles Freddy's. He's having memories of him being evil with Vanessa, working for Glitchtrap, but at the same time, he's now good. It's all conflicting. His brain can't handle it. He blacks out. We literally know from Five Nights at Freddy's VR or Help Wanted that Vanessa was literally controlled by Glitchtrap, exactly like GGY. It even confirms that they kinda have been working together in one of the books. So again, it's extremely odd that when Freddy asks why he's so scared of Vanessa / the security guard because she wants to help him, he doesn't know why. He just knows that she's out to get him. That's because his memories again have been lost, and all he remembers is a partial bit where she was evil and working for Glitchtrap. But when he's confronted by her face to face when she grabs him, all the memories are kinda coming flooding back, overwhelming his brain. He blacks out. But this does pose an interesting dilemma here. You see, when Vanessa does get a hold of Gregory, it's either in the loading dock or it's on the way out of the fire escape. And coincidentally, they're miles away from the lost and found room. Now, that means she would literally have to carry a blacked out Gregory to the lost and found room, which would make sense, but what doesn't make sense is that if she was Vanny, wouldn't she take this opportunity to now put a incapacitated Gregory completely out of action? I mean, throughout the game, she's an antagonist who's chasing us, trying to kill us. She has a perfect opportunity to do so when he's in Lost and Found, but doesn't. Well, I actually think I have the answer for this. You see, she would probably still assume that either A, Gregory's still partially under the influence of GGY, and they're both working for the same person, Glitchtrap / the Mimic. So why would she want to take an ally potentially out? He blacks out, she doesn't have time to question him, so she brings him to the Lost and Found room in order to question him. When he wakes up, however, she's probably already worked out that he's no longer under the influence of Glitchtrap and the Mimic and thinks, right, I may as well bop him off at this point. But Gregory wakes up and escapes. That is the only logical explanation I can think of, that he kinda has a brain fart exactly like Freddy does on stage because of the conflicting memories. This also explains how Freddy seemingly starts to remember things throughout the playthrough, you know, where you go down below the abandoned pizzaplex. He starts to say, I remember what this was, as if the memories are coming back to him, because again, that was from his past when he was working with GGY and when he was working with Vanny / Vanessa. It makes sense in Freddy because he's a machine, he'd have a limited amount of RAM, he times out, reboots into safe mode, exactly like a PC. Gregory, however, though, all them conflicting memories in his brain literally puts him into some type of comatose state, hence the blackout. All that to me makes complete sense. So what do you think? Do you agree with my theory? Do you think I've missed something? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure when the full release of Escape from the Pizzaplex comes out, we'll have more answers and more theory work for me to go over. So if you want to see that, hit the subscribe button right now, because you'll be kept up to date with everything I release. And not only that, there's plenty of security breach theories on my channel, some pretty big ones too. I highly recommend checking them out. Massive thanks to the members who are on screen now, with an extra special mention to Lauren and Penguin Lover 12. Thank you guys. You are the best security guards in Fazbear. And as always, I'm Twisted Animatronic, and stay safe out there, superstars.